I am Mark Anthony, co-host of The Psychic and the Doc. This week, I am at the International Association of Near-Death Studies, IAND's 2021 online conference. But I'll be back next week when Dr. Pat and I will be taking calls from listeners on an all-new episode of The Psychic and the Doc.
There we go. Hey, everybody, welcome. I just want to say to everybody out there, we are taking your calls today because we've got a fantastic show. I want to welcome you. The number to call in is 1-800-930-2819. The reason I'm excited about this show is I knew Mark was off speaking with so many other people like Mark, talking about near-death experiences and a whole bunch of other things. And I thought to myself, what do I want to connect with all of you about? Are you all feeling the same thing that I'm feeling? Are you feeling like there's just so much going on right now in the world? And yet, how many text messages did you get this morning? By 6 o'clock this morning, I thought my alarm was going off on my phone, and it wasn't. You know, our hearts go out for the people that are literally underwater. And I appreciate those of you from the Bronx that knew I was born there, raised there, grew up there, PS14, all of the other things, junior high school 101. Thank you for sending those subway pictures to me at 6 this morning. I don't even know how you got in the subway to take those pictures. I'm just wondering. But my heart goes out to you. The reason I needed to have my two very special guests today, Monte Farber and Amy Zerner, joining me here today. The enchanted world, whatever you think that you are going to hear us talk about today, you will be surprised. I thought about bringing them back. I had a conversation with them earlier in the year because I totally love their book, Mindful Astrology. And it is one of those books that you read and you understand a bit more about yourself. But I wanted to bring them back today. You know, these are two folks where we are going to get some answers to the questions. But I said to Linda in inviting each of them back today for the show, what is going on? What is happening right now? What do we do to make sense of the things that are happening right now? And can we look at this energy in the astrology and the planets and the movement and saying goodbye to some of the older ages we've been stuck with? That's just me talking, and welcome something new. But does the new come with the new energy? Does it come with fierce fire? Maybe a fire we haven't seen in a long time. And today's show is about that. We're taking your calls. We're going to be able to connect you with both Monte and Amy. You're going to find out about what's going on in your planetary, astrological, energetic world. And we're about to have some fun kicking it out of the park today. 1-800-930-2819. Hey, everybody, welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining me on the show tonight.
It's so nice of you to have us back. We love our conversations with you.
And we do have some answers.
What you're talking about, energy, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
To feel the energy, own your own energy.
Yeah.
Feel the pulse of what's going on globally.
Yeah.
It's the age of Aquarius.
So I get this picture, and it comes from a friend that I've known since I was 17. Let me just say right around that age. And you get this picture. I mean, honestly, I got the picture and I'm like, who the heck's that? Right? Like, and then I realized, holy crap, that's me. And I got the leather headband on and the long hair. And you're looking at yourself marching, or you're just got your fist in the air, or whatever that is that one does when they're that young, and you're in the middle of so many things you believe in. And here we are today, and I am still that person, and I am so struck by how similar for me the energy feels. And I just want to call on each of you because I want you to weigh in. I don't know if I'm feeling it because, I don't know, history repeats itself, or I'm just feeling it because, maybe I need to go to the gym more. I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be like all of the above. So I want to ask each of you, I'm looking at where we sit today, and I'm not just talking about COVID. I'm talking about an entire cauldron of things. Now, that cauldron's either going to be grandma's best chicken soup, or it might be something else, or maybe you both have something to add. So let's get at it.
Well, there's a couple of things going on. From a personal standpoint, the reason we all have this kind of free-floating anxiety and the desire to once again take to the barricades with revolution is because of a long-lasting aspect that's been going on since February and will be going on until the holidays in 2021. And that is the planet Uranus, which is the butt of all astrology humor. And and Uranus is right now has been squared. In other words, a 90-degree angle in the sky between the planet Saturn and Uranus. And that always harbingers a new world order. It happens about every 20 years, but it's happening now. I mean, the planet Uranus is in the sign Taurus and Neptune is in the sign Pisces. That the last time that happened was the run up to the American Civil War.
Right.
And so there are aspects going on right now in the United States' chart that harken back to the days of John Brown.
Because countries have charts just like people do.
Right.
Yeah.
When someone says to you on your birthday, many happy returns, they mean the sun has returned to where it was on the day you were born.
Right.
That's what many happy returns happen. And every planet has the ability to return to where it was when, especially a nation, because the planet Pluto takes 240 years to go around the solar system. And that is coming up for the United States now. It'll be exact in 2024, but we're feeling it now. And that usually ends an empire, or it calls on an empire to revolutionize itself and transform itself like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I think everybody has that, the old Richard Pryor routine, how long can this you-know-what go on?
Yeah.
And I think people have reached the point where it ain't going on anymore on my watch. And this goes for young people, people our age,
Yeah.
people older. And so the Uranus and Saturn square, which is exact 3 times. February, it was recently exact, and it'll be exact again around the holidays. Once again, it's a new world order. And we don't want that new world order to be like something out of animal form. We're tired of some animals being more equal than others. And we're tired of having things shoved down our throats. And I think that is why people are just saying, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, like what you were describing.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter where you stand from what political end of the spectrum or no political end of the spectrum. You know, once upon a time, there used to be sort of like a conversation around that. You know, I think what's going on in the world literally transcends all of that, although we tend to look at ourselves along political lines. And I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about the worldview.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That's the old paradigm.
That is.
And and it's boring and it's by rote. And I think personally, all of us have to innovate our way of thinking. I mean, we're kind of forced to, because this is a new age, it's a new time, we have new ways of communication. I mean, I'm the Pollyanna maybe of the group, because I see so much good now.
Yeah, I'm called Pollyanna Patty. Just saying, Amy.
Okay,
we're
good.
both in that. We're both two peas in that pod, though.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we don't have an opinion about something, or, you know, there's such a misconception about that, right?
Yes. It doesn't mean we don't see the reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like that, you know, at 19, you don't go down to Atlantic City and burn your bra. Well, you do. And then you look back at that and say, wow, did anybody get my picture?
And now everybody gets everybody's picture.
I think we were very swept up at the time. I mean, there was a revolution and feminism, and we were against the war, and it was an exciting time culturally with the arts and with music. And I don't know how informed we really were about the truth of what was going on, because now there's so much information that we can wade through, and alternative information, which I think, you know, the regular network news is definitely the old paradigm part of that. And what I find exciting is that individuals have a say, have an insight, and we're all sharing. I think part of the feeling of overwhelmed is, you know, how to process all of that in this modern age.
And, you know, that's what we're going to talk about when we come back. I want to tell everybody that is tuning in, Jacob, Linda, Jessica, whoever's out there, Jamie, they're going to be picking up the phones. We have a couple of callers waiting now. They're going to get your birth date information. We're going to put it in the chat. Make sure we pass it on to my very special guest today. You know, what is it when you put yourself in the middle of the global conversation? Like you, like me, like what happens when, like, you and your chart, as we like to call it, but your astrological energy then gets in the mix, right? What happens when you take a look at a solar return? Like I looked at my solar return the other day. I don't even know who can explain it to me. But what happens when you look at, well, I know you two could, but when you look at it, and you think, I'm feeling something in my life. I'm feeling something in my life. Here's the good news. You're feeling something in your life.
Right. It's, if people are not imagining things like today, as we're doing this show, the planet Mars is exactly opposite the planet Neptune. And Mars is, of course, the god of war. The sign Aries that Mars rules is the other name for the god of war, Mars and Aries. And then Neptune rules the sign Pisces, which it's in, and it hasn't been in for 140 years. And anytime Mars is opposed to Neptune, that means aggressive spirituality. It could also mean Neptune can be deception. So it could be aggressive deception. And I think people are tired of being deceived. They're tired of people lying to them, saying something is true just because they want to keep us down or to keep us quiet. And I think the revolutionary times have not started. This is a more exciting time than the 60s. I know we always talk about the 60s, but we've known for a long time there was a big eclipse in June. And there's something with eclipses called the sorrow cycle, where the eclipses come back every 52 years. And guess what that comes back to? 67, the summer of love. And Woodstock, all that kind of stuff. I know that was 69.
That's 69. I could tell you exactly when that was.
No, I know, but
I can tell you what you're saying to me.
And there
I-
was a
I-
pandemic.
There was a
Yeah.
huge pandemic.
People, 1 million people died
No,
worldwide.
They
during
think maybe up to 4 million people dying.
Right, and meanwhile, everybody was, passing joints at
Oh
Woodstock.
my God.
Forget about masks and social distancing. They were in the mud together.
Yeah, you couldn't even explain what social distancing was to those of us back there. But you know what I love about what you're saying? I want to talk about it when we come back. Somebody asked me, because I've shared my story of a number of different things, but when we went through Pride Month this year, I talked about the reality. I really did have to talk about the reality of Stonewall. And what I talked about was what many people don't know, really the nuances of Stonewall. The reason that we talk about Stonewall today is because a gay woman refused in handcuffs to get in the back of a paddy wagon. Got in, she got out, came back to the bar, got in, they grabbed her again, threw her back in the thing. She got back out and came back to the bar. Third time, everybody was busting through that paddy wagon or whatever you want to call them. Back then, we called them a lot of things. But then you got people standing on the corner, like, seriously, Bob Dylan, did you actually get arrested there? But you know what? Here's what I love about this. The 60s was foreplay for where we are today.
100%.
Foreplay for where we are today. When we come back, we're going to hear what the real climactic adventure is in the world of Amy and Monte and all of you. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Okay, look, we're going to the phones, 1-800-930-2819. As I said before, we just keep the call, we just keep it rolling. For those of you that are over on Facebook, we're going to connect with you as well. We're taking questions, comments. We've got Amy and Monte joining us here today. I want to just say to everybody, my copy, see that right there? Love it. Mindful astrology. And we're going to talk about this a little bit because, part of what we started to talk about today is, there's a level of awareness, and that level of awareness may give us some insight and then it may not. And the fact that what you were talking about today is definitely so interesting, especially about Mars.
Yes.
And what it comes to mean to us at a personal level. What I'd like to do is, how do people find out more about you both? How do they get a copy of the book? Let's make sure we give them information if we could right now.
You're giving some copies away, right?
Love to.
Okay,
So,
good. We have them. Actually, you can get them at Marshall's as well as Barnes and Noble and every bookstore.
Amazon. It's on our website, which is called theenchantedworld.com.
And
Yeah.
we're excited to, we just found out yesterday
It's
that,
in its third printing, and in the last 6 months, it sold 10,000 copies. So,
yeah,
but astrology is hot, tarot is hot, all these subjects that help people know themselves better, which is key to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, if we know ourselves and if we understand each other better, it's just going to make the world better.
Yeah.
And people have been writing about, I'm an Aries, I'm a Virgo. If you're an Aries right now, you're experiencing the feelings of
Charlene was in the chat. She wants to know.
right. And
She's
so
an Aries.
all Aries are feeling the aspect of Chiron, which is the wounded healer in Aries. So they're all getting in touch with wounds that have not healed and never will heal from their childhood, the traumas of that. And that also would affect Libra, which is the opposite sign. The other person who's put their Sheila put it in Mars. So there's Mars. Mars is kicking everyone's butt right now. The major aspects right now for the last few months and for the next few months are all Mars opposite this, Mars opposite that.
Tension.
And ready to
that's what you're
fight.
feeling. That's what you're saying.
You're ready to
feeling
fight.
it. So how do we best deal with that? Like martial artists, we don't fight.
Well, the stories of all the great martial artists is how they didn't fight. The trouble now is people are starting to feel like your vote doesn't matter, the petitions don't matter, the raising money doesn't.
Powerless, yeah.
And I think it harkens back to the time of the civil rights movement. Those people put their bodies on the line. They got out, they marched. And, people say bad things about the baby boomers. We stopped the Vietnam War by going out and marching in the millions.
We stopped
my
the
God.
nuclear power plant.
Yeah, out
Oh.
here in Long Island, we stopped a nuclear power
Oh
plant.
my gosh, I remembered that.
Yeah, I did commercials against it, and we stopped it. I mean, it's there. They built it because there's more of us than there is of them. And the one thing that dictators always fear is the people, because the people united can never be divided. So that is what you're describing. And in the United States' chart, we're having the confluence of three major planetary returns. There's the 240-year return of Pluto. There's the third Uranus transit, which is every 80 years. And then there's the Saturn return, which happened in like 2012. And so everyone right now knows that this cannot go on any longer. It's now time for people to do what they have to do, because we don't want to wait anymore for freedom, justice, individual freedom. And I can understand that person telling you they don't want someone telling them what to do with their body.
No.
We fought for that already. It's it's almost like you feel as we go into new times, it's 3 steps back, because it's the old trying to pull us back.
And because they keep trying to divide people. I mean, this business of trying to divide people and put everybody a red, blue state, Democrat, Republican, that doesn't work anymore. We're all people, and people have to respect each other.
Well, it's an illusion of control. If this just happened, then everything would be okay. If you just shut up, and listen to
Go
me.
away.
Right. My friend Bill Siegel wrote a book called The Control Factor. And in it, he was talking about how people have this thing where, oh my God, everything's out of control. If only this one thing was good, then I'd feel a lot better. But of course, it never happens. For us all to realize that we're all people, we're all in this together. And instead of fighting with each other, we should unite to make it so that people have individual freedom.
Well, go ahead.
Well, and that's what we're doing today. That's why I opened up the phone lines, because I want to bring some folks on. I mean, this is really a point of exploration, even though people won't admit it. We're questioning ourselves. We're questioning our bosses. We're asking, why was I able to work at home for 20 months? And now you're telling me I'm inefficient for doing that today. How is that even making sense to anybody?
The hypocrisy that
it's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
I got an email about 3 weeks ago, because people know I'm from New York. So I get New Yorkers email me, and they emailed me a picture of Governor Cuomo. And of course, he's on his own healing journey. Whatever he's going to do, he's already on the way to do it.
This is
But
true.
next to him was a picture of Supreme Court Kavanaugh. And the clip was, and they wanted me to post it, and the clip was something like, how are these two different? And the answer was, well, one of them's a Supreme Court justice. And I thought, it is an interesting new level of awareness people have. This is a new world. This is a world dominated by information. This is a world where you get in your in-mail box a picture that says, engineer designs a new spacecraft that looks like a giant butt, and you actually click on it and it does. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phones, Jacob. Let's go ahead, and who do we have first?
We've got Sheila from Virginia coming on right now.
All right, Sheila, welcome to the show.
Looks like we're just connecting to her right now. There she is.
Thank you. How are you all?
Good.
Good. How can we help?
Well, I just want to say I'm a Virgo. My birthday is September 5th, and I'm just wondering, what is highlighted right now in my astrological chart.
Well, once again, when the sun returns to your birthday, and
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, of course. And the planet Mars is right now in the 23rd degree of Virgo. So you are feeling exactly what Dr. Pat's talking about. You feel energized at the very least, ready to fight and draw the line in the sand. And nobody better push you around, because there's something called a solar return chart, which is a chart done as if you were born on your birthday this year. and in your solar return chart this year, you're going to have Mars conjunct your sun. And when you have someone who's born with Mars conjunct their sun, think warrior. So a little bit of Xena going on with you this year.
I get two great cards from our Enchanted Tarot. I get the Joy card and the Queen of Pentacles. So I think this is a really good time for you for business and for having fun, you know, and there's a lot of playfulness in these cards for you.
Right.
So I think maybe you're going to have a party.
As long as nobody stops you, you know, because when you have Mars conjunct your sun, you don't want people stopping you. Do you feel more feisty than usual still?
Oh, well, I definitely am drawing lines in the sand everywhere. It's getting a little out of control.
Yeah, no,
right
you're
now
not.
because like
No,
yeah, like no, not happening. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that very strong right now. To the point where I'm wondering, you know, because I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm wondering, you know, gosh, am I going too far? You know.
Didn't Christ throw the money lenders out of the temple? You can't
on
get
a mule.
more spiritual than Christ, and he got up in arms at a certain point. You know, there are certain things worth fighting for. Look, I always come back to the civil rights time.
Yeah.
Those people died for what they believed in, and I think that I'm not saying people should die. I'm not saying people should hurt other people, but I think we have to stand
you have
up.
to be committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely standing my truth right now, no matter what anyone thinks, because I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. I'm quite happy with myself, but and I'm drawing, you know, a lot of boundaries. But it's like I wonder too, like I don't see where I'm heading. Like, you know, it's this unknown out there, which is fine. You know, I used to have a lot of anxiety, especially 2019, I got overcome with anxiety really bad, but that is subsiding. That's subsiding now, and I'm getting back to myself. But it's like still the unknown. The unknown doesn't give me exact anxiety, but I'm just wondering where I'm heading because I don't feel clear on that.
Well, you don't have to head anywhere. The first rule of warfare is make your base secure. So as long as you're making yourself secure and your
Which
family
means,
secure.
Yeah, your body, take care, a lot of self-care.
Yeah, and stocking up.
Make your home beautiful.
Yeah,
Those
stocking
are
up.
important things.
Yeah, because you know, like in Australia and in the United States to a lesser degree, the truckers went on strike because they got tired of people telling them what's going on and trying to tell them that they have to do this or they have to do that. And they did it again. They did it in 1979, and they just recently did it in Australia and New Zealand. There's going to be supply interruptions, and making your base secure is the job of all of us now. And I'm not saying stock up on toilet paper because that's kind of crazy, but definitely making your base secure is going someplace.
What makes you feel secure?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because there's that ancient Chinese expression that's often misquoted, and they say the journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath your feet, not with the first step. It begins beneath your feet. That's the actual translation, and that means get yourself together. That is going someplace. So you don't feel like you have to go someplace.
Yeah. And, you know, do me a favor. We're going to be able to help you out with this. If you just stay on the line, we need to get your address. We're going to send you a copy of the book.
That's our little.
I appreciate that.
Happy birthday. Really.
Please don't hang up. Let Linda or Jessica, somebody, one of our producers, get your information. Jacob, let's make sure we don't hang up. And, you know, let's get some information and send a copy of the book out there.
All right. I appreciate that very much.
All right. You bet. Jacob, why don't we go to Mary Rose from California? Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just get that set up real quick here. And let's bring on Mary Rose.
Hi.
Hi, Mary Rose. Welcome to the show.
Leos. I love Leos. Leo rising. The rising sign, as you'll learn from mindful astrology, the rising sign is the sign that was on the horizon at the moment you were born, and it's how other people see you, and it's this big secret in astrology. But you don't know your rising sign, you don't know how other people see you. And if you're born at sunrise, is what they get. But if not, and that's 11 other signs, people don't see you the way you're trying to come off to them sometimes. And how can we help you today?
Yeah, what question do you have? What would you like a little assistance with today?
Hello.
Can you hear us okay?
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you
hi.
hear us
This
okay?
is Mary. Hi,
Yeah,
am I on?
gotcha.
I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. We had I just couldn't hear. Well, I'm a Leo, and I'm going through a very, very difficult time. What is going on with us, with Leos in general?
Well, with Leos in general, they have to feel that they can express themselves. So if you're having trouble expressing yourself or being feeling or judging yourself for not being as creative as you'd want to be, that would be a problem right now. And Leos need to lead.
So I got a card about work and I got a card about relationships. Are those the issues that you're having trouble with?
The relationship, yes. I've been married for 32 years to a triple Capricorn.
Wow.
Yeah, so
And
this
I think he's lost his mind.
Well, you know, Capricorns have had a very hard time since the time of the start of the pandemic, because that's actually timed the start of the pandemic was the co-joining of the planet Saturn and Pluto in the sign Capricorn, which has only happened 5 times since Christ's time.
Well, Capricorns are a little prone to depression anyway, so having a stressful time kind of triggers that. And Leos, want to party and have fun.
Right, and Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn right now. It's retrograde on the 25th degree of Capricorn.
I think you can work on it. I think you can, keep working on your relationship.
Yeah, because with the
I don't see that happening. No, he's immovable. I mean, he's not, he's a real goat, but there's just no communication left. It's bizarre. It's almost bizarre. If I wasn't living this,
I was just going to say,
he
might be really focused on his own mortality and his own problems to the point where he doesn't want to hear about anybody else's stuff. And because with Pluto, like I was talking about it in the return chart of the United States, it's all about death, life, birth. Everything's black and white when you have Pluto transiting a planet. And so everything might seem to your partner to be small talk, and only wants to do the big stuff, doesn't want to do the little stuff. And that's hard. That's hard on everybody around them. So I can understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me,
when someone is a triple anything, does that make it even more so? Like everything else, is it multiplied by 3?
I'm a triple. Let me just tell you a little bit. Here's the good news, and here's the good news for me. So people look at my chart and they look at 2 major emphasis on it. They're very struck and cannot believe that I'm a triple Capricorn. So what does that even mean to me? I don't know what Amy and Marty are going to say. I'm a moon in Capricorn, I have my Mercury in Capricorn, and I have my Mars in Capricorn. But here's the other good news. My sun sign is a Sagittarius, and a lot of the energy in my chart is Sagittarius. My Venus is Sagittarius, and they all hang out like up here in my chart, right? And so the way I love to explain it to people when they ask me, I spent the first half of my life as a flaming Sagittarian. It was later in life that I understood the common sense of a Capricorn. So here's the good news for somebody like me, and Linda's a triple Virgo. The good news for somebody like me, here's what I don't do anymore, which I have done in my life. I don't buy a pool table, like shooting pool, like in a bar. I do not buy a pool table today without measuring a room. Now, I have done that, and I've had it delivered. And Linda's like, that is not going to fit in the room. Now, has that changed? A lot. But I'll tell you, about 4 weeks ago, I swore that a very large piece of furniture would fit in the opening of my Rogue. I swore it. And we showed up at the guy's house. And I had the tape measure, and the guy's like, no. I said, yes, it'll fit on a diagonal. He's like, no, the legs are they're not going to fit on the diagonal. I made them take this big, heavy table and try to fit it in the back of my rogue.
Why don't you listen to Linda for that? She's
Yeah,
the
right.
triple.
I do. But you know, and I don't want to keep you, but please do me a favor, stay on the line and let's get your information, because I want to hear what Amy and Monte have to say about the answer to your triple question. But if you stay on the line, we'd love to get your address and send you a copy of the book.
Yeah, because you'll find out.
Thank you so much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
you will-
stay on the
you
line.
will- You will
Yeah.
find out that Capricorns need to be respected. So I don't know what's
Boy, is
going
that
on
the
with your
truth.
partner, but
Mm.
Well, she
if-
needs attention. She needs affection.
yeah, but this person sounds like they're totally self-involved right now.
Well, that's what
Mm.
happens when you go off, right?
You know, because we all have PTSD from being traumatized by the whole lockdown situation, and plus now it's coming back again, you know, which is not fun.
Yeah, Capricorns had the worst time.
Yeah, it's like being
Oh,
sent
sorry,
into
Pat.
Well, I honestly, I didn't have the worst time. I mean, I don't know if this is Capricorn or not, but I really do believe that there's part of this Sagittarius energy, and I don't know what else is, what else is there to really affect this, but I entered this and I didn't miss a beat on the network. I didn't miss a beat. We went ahead with our expansion. I doubled the space so my people could be safe.
Yeah.
If I had to do 7 feet or 20 feet, or everybody gets their own closet. I mean, there's a part of that energy for me that right out of the gate was, I don't know. I was just not going to not do that. I was not going to not move ahead with the vision. That was just not even a possibility. But I will say I was also practical, and I was also deeply pained by the fact that I used to spend time with my friends every Wednesday and Saturday playing my sport, and, a little white ball, and it stopped. We all stopped. And, this was painful. I mean, I did get a table and a robot, but what did I do? I don't know which sign in my chart this is, but you've got my solar return. I thought, hey, a great time. Linda, come on now. Let me get 2 new knees. Yay. Let's go get total knee replacements. How cool is that?
Is that?
Capricorn rules the knees.
It does, yes.
It does now. I don't know what sign was ruling it before. Look, we've got another caller. I want to bring our next caller on, but before we do, again, how do people find out about you both? And Amy, yeah, talk about some of the things you all are doing, and definitely, I hope the book is in stock because it's fantastic. Again, give everybody your websites.
It's theenchantedworld.com. And my personal website with all my fashion and jewelry and designs is amyzerner.com. And Monte's website with all his psychic and astrological work is montefarber.com.
We keep it simple.
Oh my
But the
God.
Enchanted World is where you can find out
Everything.
everything.
Well, we're going to skip the break. That's how simple I'm planning to keep it right now. I think we do have a caller, don't we, Jacob?
That's right. We've got Charlene from Canada.
That's our Aries, right?
Yes.
All right. Charlene,
Charlene's
welcome to the
Aries.
show.
415-61. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Hi, Charlene.
I'm an
Charlene,
Hello.
hey,
Yeah.
can you hear us? Welcome to the show.
I'm
Thank
partial.
you.
Yeah, Amy's
It's fun to be an Aries, right? We get a lot done.
and they're very honest, like Sagittarians, but Sagittarians can be honest to their own detriment.
Oh my God, I had that experience today, and Linda bailed me out of it. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, she sounds wonderful.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Charlene, how can we help you? What's your question?
Relationships.
And what would you
Wow.
like?
My 2 adult daughters are basically, there's been a sort of an estrangement within the family and
hope-
a total disconnect.
Yeah, we hope it's not over politics or vaccines or anything crazy like that.
Do you want to know what how to
No,
you want to know how to best handle it or what will happen in the next year or?
Right now, I am just taking care of myself.
Good idea.
That's what we're talking about.
You know,
Make your base secure.
I invented this astrology card game. That was my first book back in '88. It's still in print, called Karma Cards. And I just asked the Karma Cards about it. They say it's going to be okay. It got the North Node. And so I know it might seem pretty dire right now. Somebody might be lying to you. But I think once the lies are discovered, things will move on. But I feel like things will get better. I know it sounds crazy now, but that's what I got.
Well, you know, just what I wanted to say to you guys, to you, Amy and Monte, I wanted to thank you for this book, Mindful Astrology. I actually won it off of Transformation Talk Radio. And I was looking in here, and it says Aries have great instinctive faculties and are capable of amazing progress when they can be a pioneer in some area of expertise. And I love to read, but rarely for relaxation. I need it for information.
Yes,
and Dr. Pat would know that is right on the button.
Totally right on the button.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I'm glad you won it.
We are very excited about mindful astrology, and especially that it's doing so well, because New York Times said 95% of the books from last year didn't even sell 5,000 copies, and so far our publisher has printed 30,000. So we're very excited about that.
Well, I think it's for the reason Charlene said, though. I mean, I think it's for the reason she said, and the reason that, you know, I read it is because, you know, there's a part, I mean, like, what novels did I read? Okay, let me think. Okay, anything by anything by Anne Rice. Okay, that tells you a little bit about me. The Twilight series. Okay, that tells you more about me.
Get those vampires in there.
Get them in. And, you know, this is the book where you pick it up because you want information and insight, and you want to learn something, or you want to be able to understand something. I think that's what Charlene is saying. And, you know, I know Charlene, she's one of our fantastic listeners, watchers, viewers. And, you know, for that reason, I could see why people got this, because you come out of the gate and you help us understand things here.
Well, we're just people, you know, and we write for people. We don't write to hear the sound of our voice. We're trying to help people. We're very blessed. Amy and I have been together for 46 years. And astrology has been our language of love. So we want people to share that.
But we want to make it accessible, because sometimes people don't have 40 years to study it.
Right.
And we want them to get all the benefits from it. So we make it fun, we make it easy, and we go deep at the same time.
And being an Aries, I mean, with your ruling planet Mars is in the sign of Virgo right now. So it's very good for you to be analyzing stuff, looking at the details of stuff, and not, once again, I do feel that somebody in the situation you've asked about is lying to somebody. But once that lie is exposed, then I think things will heal and will move forward. And with Mars there, you're not about to just sit on and rest on your laurels.
No, you have to defend your beliefs.
Right.
There we go. Charlene, thank you so much,
you know,
really.
I do want to say that I will be giving some copies of these books away for Christmas, because I think they would help a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
Short, it's to the point, and it's understandable. Like, you can actually understand what you're relaying in the book.
Yeah, and that is really an extraordinary feat for a book on astrology. Don't you think, Charlene, right?
I think so.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we're like the clowns in the rodeo. You got to be a really good rider to be a clown in the rodeo. We're really, really good at what we do, and we're so good we can make it simple. Because if you can't make it simple, you don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I want to be in your circus then, because I'm enjoying every bit of the book.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you,
Charlene. You bet. I want to get back to we've got a few minutes left here, and I want to get some insight from you both. Although I do find the triple what does triple mean? That is a great question. I don't even know what that means.
Well, it means
Uh,
that the sun, the moon, and the rising sign are all the same sign.
yeah,
That is hard. I mean, it's a triple Capricorn. Oh my God, if they feel disrespected,
yeah.
very hard
But
for them.
so I'm not really a triple. I just got
No, you
triple.
have
I
what's
just
called
got
a
the three.
stellium.
I'm a
Having
what?
three-
A
it's
stallion?
called having 3 planets in the same sign is called a stellium.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. But you're right. I mean, this has been, I have heard this from people that are under the sign of Capricorn. And I've heard this about this year. And, when you look at the chart and you look at my solar return and you look at something like that, or you take a look and you try to make sense of it, how is it that somebody like me, who really has, as I've been told, that Sagittarian energy, but this Capricorn part of me will stop me from draining my bank account and going to Hawaii for a month, even though I feel like doing it.
Well, you have a good balance then, and you understand both parts
Yeah.
because Sagittarius has the faith. And I think that's such an important ingredient, especially now when we're going through unpredictable times.
Yeah.
You have to have faith in yourself and faith in the unseen world.
Yeah.
And then you have to have practical approach to everything and ground yourself.
Well-
That's what the earth signs can know how to do. And we can learn from all the earth signs and find that earth in ourselves to ground ourselves. Because if we're in a solid place, then if the world's spinning around us, it's not going to knock us over.
Right. And
Yeah.
in your solar return, you're an Aquarius rising. So you would come across as cool this year, very futuristic, doing all the updates that you would do electronically. And the sun is on your midheaven. So this is the year for you to get as well known as possible.
You're
Yeah.
going for it this year.
And this is really interesting. And that's why when you said to me earlier about, and I was thinking about this year, I never blinked an eye. Now, mind you, I have had friends, I have had family that have lost people.
Yes.
I mean, this conversation doesn't go without deep, deep feelings of grief for people close to me that watch their parents on the other side of a piece of glass.
Terrible.
Yes.
Unprecedented. And, yet I'm somebody that fought the good battle in New York City on the doorstep of Mayor Crotch's office.
Crotch.
Like
Crotch.
that. You probably would
sorry,
like that.
Did
too,
I
yeah.
say Mayor Crotch?
You
Oh,
did.
I meant Mayor Koch.
I
Mayor
thought,
Koch's office, when he refused to acknowledge what was happening to gay men in New York City. I mean, it doesn't mean we don't feel. It doesn't mean we don't see, and it doesn't mean we don't do. And I want to ask you both. I knew from the get-go, before the chart, before the conversation, I just knew I came into this year, and it started on December 8th for me, by the way, because I just thought I'm getting my knee done on December 8th. I mean, I just knew coming in before December, this is the go for it year.
yeah.
I couldn't have predicted any of this, but I want to feel for everyone that this is the go for it year. Can we land slam dunk? Can we dance to Billy Idol from now to the end of the year? Or is it more like having lunch with the vampire Lestat?
You're so funny. I think this is the year for people to draw their lines in the sand. I think,
Yeah.
and I don't think they have to have it drawn for them. I think everybody now knows what they're willing to put up with and what they're not willing to put up with. And I don't think this is just something for America. I think this is around the world.
Oh,
Well, I see, we do this weekly show where we do readings for people for free, and I hear a lot, people don't want jobs they don't like. They don't want to live in a place they don't want to be. This is giving them time to really consider what their passions are, what their creative goals are. I know people that have written books that they've been longing to write.
Yeah.
They've lost the weight they've been longing to lose. They finally, picked up and learned that instrument. And I mean, for us, like you say, we've taken advantage of the time in the best way we could. And I think that comes down to types of personalities that can do that, that like challenges, that try to rise to the occasion, right? Whether and we do that in every area, whether when we lose a friend, when we lose a job, what are we going to do? We're going to learn the lesson and help us grow. And we all have the ability to do that, to grow spiritually. And that spirituality is really the element that is going to heal the situation in every case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the intro, but I've really got this new name now. And it's really an interesting, I got it when I went to do the video shoot with the John Legend music video with his nephew. And I can't remember who gave it to me there, but it was really interesting. And it started out kind of like, Dr. Street Smart, and you're now the Street Smart spiritualist. And I thought, wow, like, I didn't even know what that was. But here's what I want to say.
We have a book called Street Smart Spirituality in the drawer. So we're on the same wavelength there.
Exactly.
Be street smart and use your spirituality too.
Right, because if you're street smart, they'll take you for a ride.
Come on. No. But here's what I want to say to Charlene's point. None of this happens without an amazing group of people that I get to work with every day.
Yes.
Not a single bleeping thing happens. Not Transformation Talk Radio, not this show, not the phones, Jacob. And we just brought on a couple of new producers, Malia and Jamie, fantastic women. You know, you take Jacob, Malia, and Jamie, and you put them together and boom, there you go. You got Linda, right? She's got to go back to New Jersey. I think she's really sad about that. She's been here a year. Then you've got Jessica, who started as an intern in a room in my house. Like, I'm serious. We were like in the back room of the house. She's in the room of the house and she's getting orders from ex-Marine Heather on what to do. She learns it. She grows with it. You've got Kim. And this is, and then I look at all of our marketing people. And then I've got my programmer. I got one programmer from Poland. And this is, to me, when I wake up every day, I am not alone.
Yes.
And you're right about getting out now. This is the message for me. And yet at the same time, I got some more work to get done. But boy, I'm trying to think of how to keep people uplifted and inspired. You know what I mean?
Well, you're doing that.
You are. And with having you and your team behind them, they feel like they're not alone. I think that's the difference between the people that have been rolled over by the last few years. And like you, we're all lucky enough to have people that we trust that are behind us. The people that are alone, I don't know how they've gotten through it. They're incredibly strong.
You can create communities somehow these days with social media, you know, with the communications that we have available. You have to be part of some community, and that's also the age of Aquarius, the rules communities. So be creative, be part of a community, have faith.
And listen to people that tell the truth like you. Because I mean, this is a time when people are making up their own facts and nobody knows what's real.
Intuition is so important.
You got to know who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And you are.
You know, once upon a time, it was very difficult to get the truth. And I know you alluded to this before, both of you did. And now we live in a world where it's still very difficult to get the truth, for different reasons. One reason was you couldn't get your hands on information. You know, the other reason is that everybody gets to put out information now. And I think we have to count more on that innate ability, that innate sense of who we are. We really do.
Yes.
But when a mom's daughter gets on a bus and travels to Washington, D.C. and stays up all night to make a sign that says, "Don't tread on me," it is heartfelt, gut-wrenching, and I wonder if her children will still have to do the same when they grow up.
Well, not if we all get together and do what we are here for.
Exactly. Please, thank you for today. Again, how do people find out about you? How do they tune into your show? How do they all of the above?
Well,
We're on Facebook a lot. We're on Instagram. We're even on TikTok. And our website is theenchantedworld.com. Has links to all of our social media and has about our Zoom show, our Ask the Oracle show.
yeah, and our TikTok is Amy Zerner.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for all that you're doing. And, like before, there's an open door. Please come back.
I
Thank
hope
you so
Thank
much.
you, Dr. Pat.
You bet.
Thank you for
Jacob.
fighting a good fight.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm just warming up.
Yes, you are. Sun conjunct the South Node in your solar return. Definitely.
I hope that's a good thing. Thank you.
No, it means you're fulfilling your karma.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because the only other option is to become a vampire. That's the only other option. All right, everybody, we're going to see you next time. Mark will be back next week. Jacob, thank you for doing what you do. Linda, Jessica, Jamie, all of you for answering the phones. And to you are the best audience on the planet. And we love you very much. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic in the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on transformationtalkradio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on transformationtalkradio.com. That's transformationtalkradio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.